Hey, what's up guys? Slow Mo back here, hitting you with another promising game. And today's game is The Medium, shown at last week's Inside Xbox and developed by Bloober Team. Now you may be familiar with Bloober Team's work. They specialize in psychological horror games. If you haven't played one of their games before, then I'm sure you've heard of them. Their previous titles have been the Layer of Fear games, Observer, and Blair Witch, which came out last year. Bloober Team was founded back in 2008 by Peter Babiino and Peter Biladowicz. Their studio began with getting contract work. However, after obtaining the necessary experience and gathering a talented team, Bloober Team began working on their own project. So to get to the subject of this video, The Medium is a bit different than their previous games. It's technically been in development since 2012, but more of just in a concept mode, because only recently has technology caught up to what their vision was for the game. Apparently there is a gameplay mechanic they won't speak on quite yet, but it's something so advanced that it could not be implemented on current gen platforms. This is something that has been discussed often about the benefits of next gen consoles, that truly next gen games that won't be available on a Xbox One X or PS4 Pro, will be more innovative in game design, allowing developers to create new gameplay mechanics we previously haven't experienced because the current gen consoles weren't capable of delivering on the experience. Visually, they switched the perspective to a third-person perspective with fixed camera angles. All of their previous games have been first-person perspective games. Lead game designer Woj Pijiko said the decision was made to provide a more cinematic experience for the players. So basically we are designing the game like a movie. We're trying to find the best or more disturbing camera angles for the upcoming events. And the switch to the third person perspective also gives us tools to have a more immersive, more cinematic experience and show other emotions that we did before with the first person perspective. Music is being composed by Akira Yamaoka, who was the composer for Silent Hill. So he has a lot of experience in crafting a soundtrack that will ramp up the terror, keep your heart rate up, the kind of stuff that adds to the immersion of the game. And as far as the story goes, the game takes place in Krakow, Poland. Your protagonist is Mariana, a medium who can see in two different worlds. I do believe she is the woman who is pregnant in the trailer, but that's not a guarantee. I can't guarantee that. But beyond that, we don't know much else, and I'm fine with that, honestly. Nothing wrong with a little mystery before getting into the game. I'm usually the kind of person that once I'm sold on the game, and I'm sold on this one, and especially if it's a narrative driven game, I stop looking at any additional trailers that came out before launch because I don't want to be spoiled. The Medium is going to be available on Xbox Series X and PC. It is console exclusive to Xbox as far as we know. Something really just hit me just now. Follow my train of thought for a moment. There have been rumors that Xbox Game Studios has recently acquired a studio based in Poland. There was talk about this last year, and of course some people immediately went to CD Projekt Red, which is ridiculous. CD Projekt Red is a huge studio. They also run and own GOG, which is a storefront on PC. Their worth in order to purchase them would be in the billions, and considering how Xbox Studios has acquired studios that have not been that big or cost as much as CD Projekt Red would cost, that is very, very unlikely. The rumor popped back up recently, and many thought the studio may be Techland, who is developing Dying Light 2, made the previous Dying Light as well as the Dead Island games, or People Can Fly, who have a relationship with Microsoft. They did Gears of War Judgment, and they are currently working on that new looter shooter called Outsiders. But what about Bloober Team? What if it was Bloober Team? Think about it. Information on Techland has recently come out and said that they're pretty much in development hell. There's been a lot of mismanagement going on with the studio, and no one really knows what's happening with Dying Light 2. Xbox Game Studios has shied away from acquiring studios that don't have stable upper management. I always thought Telltale Games would have been a perfect studio for what they would have provided to Xbox Game Studios' portfolio. And they didn't acquire them, and later on they go bankrupt. They shut the studio down, and you hear about all the mismanagement. All the studios they purchased have been veteran developers that have strong cultures and don't need to be micromanaged. That doesn't seem to be Techland. People Can Fly are making a multi-plat game, and they have acquired developers who do multi-plat games, so that's not a true indication that it's not them. But when you look at Bloober Team, their last game, Blair Witch, launched in Game Pass, which is pretty rare for a studio that is not a first-party studio or even a second-party studio. And this game, The Medium, their next game is exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, and they specialize in psychological horror games, a genre that Xbox Game Studios currently lacks. Just food for thought. So we'll see what happens. If I'm right, you know I'm gonna brag about it, of course, right? So let me know what you guys think about The Medium. Is it a game you're interested in? And what do you think of my theory that Bloober Team might be this new Xbox acquisition? Am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Am I Slomodamus over here? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't. It's all good. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content about The Medium in the future. Peace.